Hello there, today I'll be showing you a quick tutorial on how to extract 3D models from this game, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and as an example we'll use the model of this handsome young man. Let's go. So, I would assume you have the game on Steam. In that case you'll have to go to the game settings, go to manage, browse local files, or just find it in your Steam library, Steam Apps Common Sekiro. Here you'll see you have all the data of the game that you'll need. However, it is all compressed and packed and unusable. For this you'll need 3 pieces of software. First, the UXM Selective Unpacker, which will enable unpacking game archives in all these games, and also allowing patching them later to mod them, but we won't be using that feature. Second will be the VBND by eVideo. Nordkaren made the UXM, which will unpack and all the compressed file formats used by From Software games, such as DCX, BND3 and other ones, mostly DCX. And the last that you'll need is Aqua Toolset by Shadows 117. It's a compilation of various different toolsets for various games, but we will need the Souls and From Software feature of it, which converts the .flv and .flv files to .fpx, which are 3D object files, which are readable by the modern software. After you've downloaded all of them, which by the way you just go here to the top of the page, code, and download the zip file for all 3 of them, you can go to where you've downloaded them. For example, it's this folder for me. Go first to uxm.exe, and it will probably select the place where you've downloaded the game itself, but if it doesn't, you just go to browse and find the sekiro.exe file. Just click open it. After that you have to click unpack, wait a bit. Alright, it's now finished, took about 5 minutes. Now you can click here explore and you'll see that all the folders have been unpacked and you can go into them. The main ones you'll be looking for would be the unknown folder, character folder, FaceGen I guess, map folder, object folder, other folder, no, it's nothing here, other folder, parts folder, and I think that is where all the models are. Yeah. After this you can close the UXM, and for example if we want to extract some character, you'll go in and you'll see a lot of weird numbers attached to various different DCX files which are not readable by your computer originally, which is why you'll need the VBND software. And after you go in here you'll see they're all unmarked. For this we'll need the object reference guide, which is I'll leave a link to it, which is on the Sekiro modding Wikipedia, which will have all the parts named and described. All the parts is mostly the wolf and his prosthetic arts. Object folder, which is mostly just stationary or interactable objects in the world. Character folder, which is mostly some characters, bosses, enemies, all that jazz. SFX, which is not sound effects but just various different texture effects and other stuff, and SFX TPF is TPF, excuse me. And SFX TFF is the texture files for the SFX. And for example, we wanted to extract this one, the Ashina Samurai Grant, the Musketeer, which is labeled C1011 THRBND DCX. Also a real quick note, you can see the difference in C# is it's the same number but different files. The CHR BND file is the file that contains the model itself and sometimes the bones in the animations, and the text file contains the textures. I would assume the Anibind contains the animation, and what the BEH BND file contains, I have no idea. So we'll need 1011 character bind, this one. And you would normally extract them, because they are DCX files, by just having them here and opening them with VBND. Have to wait a bit. Yeah, operation complete. And you'll see a new folder appear. But alternatively, you can go to here, open with, choose another app, and more apps, look for another app on this PC, copy this location if it will allow me. And now, god damn it, go here, select VBND, and it will now open this without having to move them into this folder. You can just take the, for example, this one, double click it or right click and open it, and it will open itself, just a quick shortcut. So now you'll have this folder. You see here we have various FLV, HKX files, and what these ones for, I have no idea. But the main one you'll be looking for is the .flvir file, which is usually the biggest one. To convert it into a file usable by, for example, Blender or other modern 3D editing software, you'll need the Aqua toolset. So it's a really big folder with a lot of stuff, but you just go down here, down the list, and here you'll see a source model tool.exe. You just once again open it with this, wait a bit, and here you'll see the C1011.fpx file. So now if I'll open Blender, god damn it, and go into General and import this one, that's the wrong thing, and just import this one. I have the drag and drop add-on for this. You'd see it's the guy that we have. It's a bit weirdly oriented, but that's about it. You see he has the, I guess that's too big for a tenta, that's the Wakizashi, his katana, also one's on his side, but no musket apparently, I don't know. And he has various different, I'll hide this one, he has various different faces, I would assume, which are for various different, that's the wrong one, either different grimaces or face expressions that they have, or for various different I guess effects that could be applied to them. For example, if you burn them with the flamethrower prosthetic, or I don't know what else you can do, maybe poison them. But the main thing is, yeah, this model has, although I think some of it is just low poly versions of other different models, or overlap and stuff. That's the main thing. So yeah, now you have the model, but if you go into the rendered view, I would assume you know how to use Blender, you'll see it doesn't have any textures. It does have materials, really simple one, but no textures, and just a missing image texture. And that's why it all turns purple. And to fix this, we'll have to go back to the character folder, C1011 texture binder.dcx, and extract this one, closing, and if you'll go in here, you'll see the .tpf file, which is also extractable by open with VBND. You can also extract it using VBND, and if you go in here, you'll have the .dds texture files, which are image files, but they are usually not readable by your default computer. How to fix this is, I've already done it, but I'll show you anyway. If you go here into open with and select, I have the PaintNet image editor, but you can probably use something like Microsoft Paint, Photoshop, whatever else you have, Krita I think it's called. You just open it with this and it will have a preview in the folder that you can see, and it makes working with it a lot simpler. Now that you have all the textures, you kind of have to apply them individually, because this one is just a plain image texture. It doesn't have any information on where the texture file is supposed to be located or how it is called, but thankfully we have the material names which are merged to the model. For example, this one is called character file body merge sss.mtd. We'll find this one. For example, .1m, this one's a. From what I understand, a usually means the what's it called? The base color file of the texture. If you'll go in here, you'll see it has the face of our guy, and the other one is, I would assume, either the roughness texture or maybe a metallic texture. I'm not exactly sure. Probably metallic. That's what the M is for. And here you can just also underscore n is the normal texture, which you need later. I'd assume you know how to use Blender and all the textures, and we'll take this one. I'll plug it into base color. You will see it already looks more like a human than a weird purple alien. And we'll do the same thing for the normal texture. Plug it into color, make it non-color, make it somewhat smaller, less pronounced, and now you can see it already looks kind of, I'll add the roughness, remove the metallic, add the roughness. I think all the materials are supposed to have high levels of metallic properties applied to them, but I'm not exactly sure how that can be circumvented yet. So just play around with it and see what works well for you. God damn it. How do you turn this one around on the Z-axis? You'll see he's missing his eyes, obviously, because I've moved him, but he already has the face texture and everything, and you can play around with it, add translucency, add different roughness and bumping and whatever you want. And that's the main thing. I'll remove him now. And we can also use this, I think, to, yeah, we can plug this one right here and see all these textures pretty much are interchangeable. Not even really interchangeable. It's different materials for different, okay, maybe not for this one. It's different materials for different 3D meshes, but the textures usually overlap between them, and then you can kind of just go down the list and add the missing textures for all different body parts and everything. Now, regarding that's the plane axis, that's not what we need. Regarding the bones of the character, which are sometimes present, you'll see it's a bit of a mess. However, it is quite easily fixed. Just I'll throw it into wire so you can see better. You'll see it has a lot of weirdly named bones. These control ones don't work, by the way. And there's a lot of them. He looks like a pine tree. And how do you fix it? It's quite easy. All the important bones are here in the root folder. They are the ones that control him. And all the other ones I think are used for close simulations, maybe some damage simulations and other stuff, collision as well, I believe somewhere. But from what I know, you can just probably go in and delete all of this. And go back into pause mode. Why did these ones survive? Master, this and this, go away. Go back to pause mode, and here you'll see you have all the bones which are all applied with vertex painting and everything else, vertex groups and weight painting, excuse me. And you can move them around quite easily. I'll put it in front so I can see better. Move them around. They're a bit wonky, as you can see, but it's easily fixed. And yeah, you just kind of have to play around with some of them. Like you can see this one, this controls the forearm, and this controls the twists and turns. You can see arm twist. And maybe if you want to do some specific, I guess, stylistic animation with bending bones and everything else, you can do that. But that's basically how you get the skeleton to move around as you want. You still will have to probably play around with it if you want to achieve a coherent result, but it's still a lot better than to have to rig it all from the beginning. After that, I wanted to also touch upon the fact that in this object reference guide they are not all the models are present here. As you can see, it's just parts, object, character, artifacts, artifacts.tpf, artifacts.tpf, excuse me. It's not, you won't find all the models that there are in the game in this file. And they are, as I've said, hidden in unknown folder and mostly the map folder. I've marked the unknown folder with everything else. It's mostly, I guess, boss entrance images, some great ape, owl father, wait, not owl, that's the costume, background. But from this point on, data 0369451041. From this point it's models. What this one is probably some kind of code. Looks like either code or just common files. By the way, if you're planning on using texture files for this game, this file common body tpf.dcx in the parts folder is extremely useful because it contains various textures that apply to Wolf, so Sekiro specifically, as well as other characters, and you sometimes won't find the textures that are present here in the folders specified for the characters themselves. So just so you don't lose yourself, most of the most common textures are found right here in common body tpf.dcx, found in the parts folder. But yeah, from this point you can find some models. As you see, I've marked some Shura models, Tengu skin, Tengu mask, and as well as some other ones. I haven't marked all of them, and it's only a small bit that I've walked through for these files. It's not a comprehensive guide. I haven't gone through all the models in the game, but just to give you, I guess, a bit of direction. The characters in unknown face gen, it's mostly, I guess, some face textures. That's the BMP file. It's mostly test stuff. It's not actually used in the game, but you could still use it for your own projects. Could be quite useful. It's a lot of normal maps. After that we have the map. I don't remember if I've named all of them. I've gone through some of them, but I think the most I've gone through is the M25, which is the, what's it called? the location before the Divine Dragon, Fountainhead Palace. I'll slowly as I can scroll down, and you'll see if you will find some stuff that might be useful to you. It's just the map is divided into various different objects, which if you go into them, you'll see they have the TPF, or the FLV converted to the FBX file for the mesh and everything else. But you'll find the textures right here in the M25, not the M25 zeros folder. Here you'll find all the textures that you might need. That's the main thing for maps. Where did I stop? You'll have to go down it yourself. Then later in the other parameters I've actually made a mistake, because there are a couple of interesting textures, which was especially in here in decal TPF DCX. Here you'll find a lot of decals which are probably blood and mud stains on applied to textures, as well as footprints. This one's from the monkey boss fight, the one that's invisible. This could also be quite useful for just average 3D use. And everything else pretty much is covered in this list, so that's about it. By the way, seeing as the main character Wolf has a lot of different parts that you have to kind of surgically attach together to achieve some kind of cohesive result, it could be quite good, but if you don't really want to deal with that and want to download a normal character file with all the bones, like for Ashnogrand, you can also go to this guy. His name is Disnose. He has a really good Sekiro Wolf model. Why did I say that? Sekiro Blender model, which is expertly rigged, I might say. It is amazingly rigged. It has various different bone collections for various different movements, for the face, for the arms, for everything around, for all the twists and turns you could ever want. And it's a lot better than having to start off from the scratch and attach the models in a path folder together. Just wanted to give a shout out to this guy. Did some great work.